Hi students, in this video I'll be going through the 2022 Additional Mathematics Paper 2 question 2. Alright, so let's read the question. So it is given that fx equals to x cubed plus ax squared minus 3x plus b, where a and b are constants, has a factor of x plus 2 and leaves a remainder of 30 when divided by x minus 3. So find the values of a and b. Right, so whenever you see a question whereby there are two unknowns to be found, okay, so what you should think of would be simultaneous equations, right? So if we can formulate two equations and then solve them simultaneously, then we should be able to find the values of A and B. Right, so now where are the two equations going to come from? Okay, so over here we are given some info, right? So this polynomial fx, it has a factor of x plus 2. Alright, so if you recall, if it has a factor of x plus 2, right, then f minus 2 is going to be equals to 0. Okay, because f minus 2 will give us the remainder, okay, when it's divided by x plus 2. Alright, and because it's a factor, the remainder should be 0. Okay, so if you have forgotten the main ideas behind remainder and factor theorem, okay, you can click the video in the description below. Okay, in that recap video, I discussed some of the main ideas behind remainder and factor theorem. Okay, so in this case, we can, since x plus 2 is a factor of fx, we will be able to use this to formulate the first equation. Okay, so let's go about writing that down. So since x plus 2 is a factor of fx, okay, so f minus 2 will be equals to 0. Okay, so now we're going to sub minus 2 inside over here. So minus 2 cubed plus a minus 2 square minus 3 times minus 2 plus b will give us 0. Okay, so let's do some calculation over here. So negative 8 plus 4a plus 6 plus b equals to 0. Okay, so I like to bring the numbers to the right side and leave the letters on the left side. So 4a plus b equals to, if you bring the 6 and the 8 minus 8 over, you'll be left with 2 over there. Okay, so this will be our equation 1. Okay, so like what I mentioned earlier, we will need to formulate two equations and solve them simultaneously. Okay, so where is the second equation going to come from? So the polynomial fx also leaves a remainder of 30 when it's divided by x minus 3. Okay, so when you divide by x minus 3, the remainder is going to be f3. Okay, so in this case, f3 is going to be equals to 30 since they say that the remainder is 30. Right, so let's formulate the second equation. Since the remainder is 30 when fx is divided by x minus 3, okay, then we're going to have, okay, let's write over here. Okay, so f3 is going to be equals to 30, right? So let's formulate the second equation. So f3, so we're going to sub 3 inside x. So 3 square minus 3 times 3 plus b is going to give us 30, right? Okay, so let's simplify a bit first. 27 plus 9a minus 9 plus b equals to 30. Right, so same thing, leave the letters on this side. Okay, bring the numbers to the side. 39 minus 27, so you get 12. Okay, so this will be equation 2. Okay, so now we need to solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Okay, we should not be difficult. We can use elimination method because both have a b. Right, so we're going to use equation 2 minus equation 1. So left hand side minus left hand side. Okay, so right hand side minus right hand side. Okay, so we have this. So from here, we will be left with 5a equals to 10. So a is going to be 2. Okay, then we're going to take the 2 and probably sub inside equation 1. Okay, it's easier. Okay, so substitute a equals to 2 into equation 1. Okay, so we're going to get 4 times 2 plus b equals to 2. So 8 plus b is 2, so b will have to be 2 minus 8, negative 6. Right, so over here we have found the values of a, which is now 2, and b, which is now negative 6. Okay, so the main ideas behind remainder and factor theorem. Okay, if it has a factor of x plus 2, then f minus 2 is 0. It leaves a remainder of 30 when divided by x minus 3, then f3 will be equals to 30. Alright, then the next part, using these values of a and b, factorize fx completely into 3 linear factors using search where necessary. Okay, so when they say linear factor means the degree of the factor is 1. Okay, so we'll get 3 linear factors. Right, so fx equals to x cubed. Okay, so we have found a to be 2, right, and b to be negative 6. So we can replace the a and b with their values. Okay, so a will be 2. So you have 2x squared minus 3x, then b is negative 6. Okay, so over here we already know that x plus 2 is a factor, right? Okay, so since it's a factor, that means fx must be x plus 2, okay, multiplied by another quadratic factor. Okay, so how to get the quadratic factor? Okay, so the first term in the quadratic factor, which is the squared term, is very easy to find, because x times what will give me x cubed. Okay, so the obvious answer will be x squared, right? Then the last one will be the constant behind. So 2 times what will give me negative 6. So the obvious answer will be negative 3. So the only one that's not obvious is the x term in the middle. Okay, so now we need to find the value of b, and then we will know this whole thing fully already. Okay, know the quadratic factor fully. Okay, so to find b, we usually either you equate the coefficients of x squared or x. Okay, so in this case, let's equate the coefficient of x squared. So equating coefficient of x squared. Okay, so coefficient of x squared is 2, right? Okay, from the top over here, you can see it's 2. Okay, but which one will give us which pair of products will give us coefficient of x squared for the expression at the bottom over here? So the first one will be x times bx. Okay, so this will give us bx squared. Okay, then next one would be 2 times x squared will give us 2x squared. Okay, so in other words, the coefficient of x squared will be b plus 2, right? So b plus 2 equals to, okay, over here in the original expression, coefficient of x squared is 2, so b plus 2 will be 2. Okay, so if you subtract, you will get 0. Okay, so b will be 0. So in other words, fx will be equals to x plus 2, x squared, b is 0, so there's no x term, minus 3. Okay, so we have two factors over here, x plus 2 and a quadratic factor, x squared minus 3. Okay, so you see they say that factorize completely into 3 linear factors, right? So over here now we have one linear factor, x plus 2, and one quadratic factor, x squared minus 3. So we need to factorize the x squared minus 3 further. Okay, so if you recall, if let's say we have a squared minus b squared, okay, a squared minus b squared, the difference of square, right? Okay, we can factorize it to a plus b, a minus b. Okay, a plus b, a minus b. Okay, so over here we will have x squared minus square root 3 squared. Okay, so in order to put in a form a squared minus b squared, we will represent the 3 as square root 3 whole thing squared. Okay, so we will get x plus 2. Okay, then from here, now a is x and b is square root 3. So we will have x plus square root 3, x minus square root 3. Okay, and this will be the final answer. We have completely factorized into 3 linear factors. So the degree of each factor is now 1. Okay, so this is how you do a question like this. So overall, it's still not too difficult. You just need to understand what the question wants, right?